Hello guys, and welcome to Power Revolution 2020 edition with our Israeli playthrough. In the last episode, China declared war on Afghanistan, so that's crazy. We've also been trying to fight associations because the ecologist group apparently represents 100% of our population, and if they don't like me, they can reduce my popularity to such great extremes that it takes basically doubling my budget just to keep up with the harm that they can cause. You know, I never understood that about this game, is how a single organization that has... Let's check that actually, right now. Actually, you know what? I probably can't. No, because it's bugged and when I click on it, it doesn't do anything. But I'm going to bet that they don't have almost 9 million members, which is our current population. Thus, I find it really weird that they have about halved, more than that, if you consider all the effects that happened during the last episode. My popularity, you'd think they represent half of my population or more with that kind of an effect, right? But realistically, they represent like 1% or less. So it's pretty crazy that they've had the kinds of effect that they've had on us, on this country, in the past term. The country's in fucking flames, there's riots, all because of the fucking ecologists. Somehow, tree huggers turned into the majority, apparently, even though most of them aren't even in the organization. That's just called bad game design, but we'll move on from that. We had the law on associations has just passed. We've bumped them down to tolerated and monitored rather than completely free. I'm curious, we can more likely get away with putting them on dependent from state now. It's still going to be tough. It's going to require doing things to maintain our popularity, which has been a struggle, has been a war since the last episode. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that because they'd be less likely to cause me any problems. And what do you mean women's rights? Human rights, I understand. I'm limiting associations. What does women's rights have to do with me fundamentally getting in the way of human rights for all of these represented groups? Animal lovers, consumers, cancer fighters, anti-racists, drivers, ecologists, people that love the family, humanitarian activists, gay people, the handicapped. This has nothing to do with women's rights. You are one of the groups. It's not about you. So why the hell did that generate a negative hit? I have no idea. They don't like our nationalization. Oh, I read the paper and there's also a threat from OSED to kick us out because of something we're doing. The game still doesn't tell you what you're doing to upset organizations. So OSED may kick us out. It's just some economic group. I don't know. If they kick me out, they kick me out. Whatever. Israel first, right? We're going to make Israel the greatest somehow throughout this playthrough, I guess. And the riots galore. Hermione Granger is super upsetty to tell me, she wants to tell me how women despise me and how I am a chauvinist. Conservatism and what's wrong with conservatism? Conservatism brought us animal reservations and nature reservations and all these wonderful things for preserving the environment. What the fuck is the matter with feminists? Or at least this one. What the fuck? Actress, yeah, okay, wow, there, the women's rights president just hates me now. After everything I've done for women, I've given you a new career path you can follow in prostitution. I've given you contraception. You should be happy. I've been standing up for your rights. The only thing that I really haven't done for you is make abortion fully legal on demand. I'm once again getting told that my lowered salary is classy. For some reason, the game keeps repeating that to me. I'm losing popularity still. So let's go ahead and finish what we started earlier. How about that? Let's go and... Actually, you know what? Maybe it's too soon to do that. Let's go to culture instead, and let's raise some culture funding here. Maybe get everything to 4? Ooh, that's going to be pricey, so let's just do 1 star at a time here. 1 star, just all across the board, because the lower stars are always cheaper than the higher stars, so you probably just want to do it this way. Okay, so this isn't actually maxed out yet. Or, well, it's not caught up. That's going to be a little pricey, 56 more than that million to do this, but this can also get me better liked by people in my country and result in recurring popularity boosts. The associations especially do like your spending here, and not all of them, but a lot of them are based off of things here. So 2 nationalization degree adjustments have gone through. Here's our little popularity boost from that, plus our boost to culture spending, so not a lot immediately. There's definitely faster ways I can get more immediate boosts, and I will use them if I need to. Robotics, artificial skin, and muscles from the United States. Okay. Also, last episode, our economy just started growing and growing and growing. I don't know why. Probably from a mixture of the trade contracts that have just been showing up at my doorstep, as well as, I really don't know. Now that I think about it, actually, I really don't know. But it's been going up. It's almost at 5% now. Unemployment's been holding around 4%, and inflation's been slowly going up. Hopefully, as our popularity increases, eventually after this association drama is done with, we can work on getting that to a better spot more easily. Because what I do want to do is come to financial transactions. Let's say we put that up another... Yeah, so they're sad about it now. But I'm sure that has to do with the fact that they don't like me. And when they don't like you as much, they are not as happy about anything that you do, quite frankly, unless it's just something solely beneficial for them. So I'm gonna have to fix that. There's another riot. All right, so we have completely dismantled the last remaining terrorist group that spawned from getting rid of the unions. Okay, and we have a meeting request from the leader of Armenia, you're over here, who feels okay about me, little landlocked country up here. They probably just want to trade, buy something from me, sell something to me. Well, it looks like the fighting between Afghanistan and China's finally started, with 509 regular infantry of Afghanistan's dying, 5 tanks, a mixture of quality, some helicopters, with China losing some very elite helicopters, but that's about it. And as well as that, it looks like there's a mess here. China with Afghanistan, China with North Korea. They have a latent conflict. Interesting. What else is going on? China. Okay, that's everything about China. Afghanistan with Turkmenistan. I don't know where the fuck this shit's coming from. I don't... Put it on military mode. I don't see any Chinese over here. I don't know which country sent troops where. Theoretically, I shouldn't really be able to see anything happening here anyway, because I don't have satellites. I don't have any information about anything that is happening over here. But it looks like the fighting has started, and it seems to have been somewhere around here. Everything's still under control by the Afghanis, so China may be starting an invasion. Even if they did take over Afghanistan, I don't know what that would do for them. Because the Mujahideen would still exist, and more than likely, more terrorists would exist in their territory. This would be the literal most awful place to live in all of China if they took it over, because it would be such a hellhole of resistance fighters and terrorism. And I'm getting all sorts of pop-ups. There's a popular sit-in happening. Great. Afghanistan declares war on China, so yeah, the war is officially starting, I guess. So our meeting with the leader of Armenia is here. It is time. Of course, there's a trade agreement. He'd like to sell me gold. Oh, okay. I consume 8 gold, whatever measurement gold is measured in here. I don't know. I know the numbers are abbreviated, I'm pretty sure, from what they show in the actual industry tab. My purchase price is much higher than their sales price, so maybe we can get something going on here for this amount. 1956. I'll start you out at 57, actually. This is millions of dollars per tons. Volume in tons. Okay. Let's just try that. All right, we're already starting at a much better price here. So 20.6. All right. 21.7. Negotiate. And he's accepted it. So that's a okay amount of our consumption of gold at a much cheaper price. I didn't even have to go looking for that. It just came to me, which I'm sure will boost my economy even more in some way. It's already past 5% growth. Inflation is still going up. I may have to keep raising the interest rate. And you know what? I will do that at least a little bit. I'll raise it up to 3%. That's fine. Just to show you, and oh my god, what's popping up over here? Just to show you an effect of what is actually occurring. As you see, we've stopped having our parity with the dollar being decreased, as you can see here. and it started to increase. And with the euro, it's just stopped decreasing as much because our currency is now being worth more thanks to the higher interest rate. Of course, we don't want to make it too high because that can strangle your economy, and not every part of your economy is growing when you have economic growth. That's why I don't like to put it over 5%. I want to keep it in a lower range so that the weaker parts of my economy don't get strangled. So China declared war on Afghanistan again, somehow. And the Afghanis are calling on the UN to issue an ultimatum against China. Let's see, can we see anything being taken yet? No, we cannot. I wonder if we can see more deaths yet. Yes, they've lost more helicopters, the Chinese. I'm sure the Afghanis have lost some more as well, but nothing that concerns us. So there is actual fighting happening here. This may evolve into full-out war, and the Afghanis can't even handle the Mujahideen. There's no way that they can handle the Chinese. But even if the Chinese take it over, can they handle the Afghanis and the Mujahideen? So we've moved into the next quarter. It's now July of 2021. This is probably the fastest, time-wise, episode-wise, I've ever gone through in-game time, I think. The law on associations is done, and we, of course, emerged with a cash surplus for this quarter as well. Growth gone down a little bit, of course, with my interest rate increase. Inflation is at 1.43, and it seems to be holding pretty steady at the moment. Just a slight increase. It's definitely slowing down for sure now that we've done that much, at least. I'm not sure what's increasing it to begin with. I'm sure once we get into the next year and the calculation goes through, it might start heading down immediately. Who knows what's going to happen to our growth the year after we've increased our interest rate by so much, from 0.1% to 3%, maybe higher by the end of this. Oh, here's the new oldest person in the country. The old one died a few episodes ago. It's been long enough that I'm going to go ahead now and just bump up my sports disciplines spending to max, the final 2 stars, leaving the actual budget area alone. We get another small increase, but at this point, we should be reaching a point where when the sports championships happen, we should start to see some winning. I don't think the effect's immediate, but our athletes will get better over time. We will eke out some wins, and then our popularity will go up as a recurring thing. The Muslims still think that they have no freedom and that they're scared or some bullshit like that. The fucking population simulation in this game is retarded. So we can now confirm that there is a good level of fighting between Afghanistan and China, because now some of China's 3-star infantry, 519 of them to be precise, as well as some drones, are starting to die. Many helicopters, in fact. China has now lost more than Afghanistan has lost. When, where, how? I don't know. Because it seems in the 2020 edition, I can no longer see all the movements of all these other countries, at least maybe just not as Israel. So I don't know where their troops are. I can't see the movements, if there are any. But there has to be Chinese infantry in Afghanistan somewhere. There are drones somewhere. Look at this. Right here. It has to be around here, because this was actually functioning, not just this episode when I looked over here. So I assume they're just fighting over this location in general. So that's pretty crazy that we can confirm that. Okay, we have a bunch of research coming in here. So we have the perfection of digital paper. So that would be e-paper. It affects just paper, the production of paper. Well, we already know the situation for all of our industries in terms of size. It's not very relevant, but patenting it could definitely help us. So we are going to patent e-paper. What else do we have? We have a nice growth forecast, I'll tell you that much. Quarterly unemployment figures are good. Robotics, cybernetics, prosthetics. What does that do? Robotics, cybernetics, prosthetics. Here we go. Combat robots and robots. What do you mean combat robots? There's combat robots. Let me go to industry real quick. Can I find combat robots? Combat robots. No. There are no combat robots. Is there some sort of new research added with the 2020 edition that I just don't know about? Have they added combat robots to this? Let me go to military. And I don't see any new trees, no. So I'm not sure what combat robots are. Where else would we find something like that? Just industry, I guess? I guess so. Let's click this. Anything that looks like it would lead to combat robots. Maybe that has to do with drones? I don't know. I'm slightly afraid to patent something that has to do with combat robots. But what else did we find? Artificial intelligence, the creation of robotic vision, succeeded in linking up a device simulating human vision up to a network of artificial brain cells. Okay, robotic vision, where is that? Robotic motorization, no. AI, artificial analysis and vision. Combat robots and robots, okay. I guess that's just a thing. Maybe it's under R, now that I think about it. Let's go to industry and let's go down to R. R. So we have robots. That's a thing. But not combat robots. Well, either way, one way or another, almost nobody produces combat robots since I can't even find an industry for it. Almost nobody produces robots, more than likely, because it's probably not that important of a thing just yet. And my economy's crap, so I'm just going to patent... Wait, what? Why is it... Oh, because I'm looking at it there. Okay, so patent, yes. Patent, yes. So we will patent basically just all of that to get whatever boosts from it that we can. Our inflation is still slowly growing, slowly, but not very quickly, which is good. We've put off nationalizing things for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and nationalize the diabetes vaccine, not vaccine. Someone made a typo, and this game's been released for months, and no one decided to fix it. This is new. In 2019, I don't think this was ever a service, but I guess once the diabetes vaccine gets researched in this game, then there's a industry, a service that pops out of it. We're already consuming some of it, so that's... Yeah, I really don't know how to feel about that, but I'm just going to put it to nationalize, see if we can start anything of it. We may just have to have the research for it. If so, like, that would be one of the only things that ever applies to. This is my first 2020 edition playthrough, so I don't know everything. Condemns Saudi attack calls for prayers so peace may reign. Oh yes, I forgot to point that out. So there was some conflict that started here between Iraq and Saudi Arabia over here somehow near an Iraqi port. I don't think anything really has come of it yet. No one's died or anything. So that's really nothing to be worried about. So as can be expected, when China invades a country, the whole world's pretty much against it. However, the problem with the UN is that China is a permanent member on the UN. And a permanent member on the UN can veto anything. Even when every superpower, every country in the world is against your war, you have the sole power to say no. So, of course, China will not be intervened against. Even though, if this went through, imagine if Russia got involved, bordering them. Oh, that would be hilarious. But so much for that. I have been looking around at ways to get some popularity, and I remember this section being a very good and not extremely expensive way to get some popularity that we found during the last playthrough. I accidentally did like everything at once though, and it had some interesting results. I basically just shot up to 100 out of nowhere. I don't want to do that necessarily. I'm just going to go ahead and put one star into monitoring food safety, because maybe that will give me a popularity bonus, and if it ends up doing something bad, well, then it won't hurt that much. Okay, just like that, a 2.4% bonus to health. That was actually pretty fucking easy to get. I also looked over here at culture, and under culture, we're still not very unanimously liked yet, so I'm going to raise up by 1 star all this crap just to try to make the individuals here like me more. And when I say make the individuals here like me more, I don't mean my popularity as a whole. I mean these guys. So the actresses, the actor, the singer, the novelist, these personalities, because they can say things in the press that can just make people dislike you. They can lower your popularity if they don't like you. Intermittently, just like how sports, if you win, can intermittently give you popularity if you win. And all the sportsmen love us because of how much we've boosted everything in sports. So I just want to see about these small little ways of getting more individuals liking me so we don't accidentally bum rush past 100, but we're still working our way up to 100. So apparently we're seeing a slight reduction in the number of extreme poverty, and I'm curious because yeah, it had dived down at some point to like 16%. That may have been a bug or something because it doesn't show here anywhere, but it's still going down. It hasn't jumped up according to this or down. So that's good. That's weird. Last episode I did show you guys that it said it was down to 16%. Was I looking at something else? It can't be. That's so weird. Well, either way, it's still going down, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 stars into assistance for converting to organic farming because I imagine that would give me a little health something kind of boost as well. This seems to be a little OP since 2019, and I've underutilized it for sure. And I don't want to bump it too far because if I spend too much at once, I've already seen I will get these negative hits from public finances. So I just want to be careful about that. That was a 1.6% boost Earth Overshoot Day from what? Health, environment, and agriculture. Okay. That's good. Wait, what? Why would environmentalists be happy about organic farming? Wait. But organic farming isn't good for the environment. The whole point of organic farming is to avoid GMOs because there's like conspiracy theories that they'll like, I don't know, take over your brain or whatever. You know, the same things that there is for vaccines. Meanwhile, GMOs widespread are used to make efficient pesticides that will kill insects, make the fruits grow larger, healthier, save space, save money, increase health in general. That's the weirdest thing. And organic is more expensive because it's less efficient to do. The crops are more likely to die. It will damage the soil more. I don't know why environmentalists would like that. I'm just going to assume that either the devs or real life environmentalists as a whole might be a little uneducated on what organic farming actually is. Because organic farming is not good for the environment, it's not good for health. So putting manpower into the diabetes vaccine is super cheap, so we'll see if we can do anything with that. Meanwhile, we'll also nationalize fast food because apparently we're not making any fast food. I don't know how that works, but we'll try to fix that up. Our growth is over 5%. Fucking insane what our growth is doing. I'm sure once the yearly calculation comes in, it's going to look a lot different. But due to how slowly our inflation is increasing, I'm kind of tempted to just leave it alone. So this is the diabetes sector, diabetes vaccine sector. As you see, it looks really, really bugged. But we failed to open it, so he suggested that we increase the workforce for it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Diabetes vaccine, workforce, well, not salary, workforce. And get that up to 10 because it's still pretty cheap. As we try to reopen that, apparently we can open it despite not having the research to even produce that. This is always a good thing to do, right? Let's increase 2 stars the fight against child labor. That should be a good thing. That should gain us some little bonuses in the eyes of the people. And Poland wants to meet with me. My good ally, Poland. One of the only times one of my actual allies has wanted to meet with me. I haven't put much effort into making any new allies. No one's turned dark green of their own accord. Haven't thrown any money into any other countries either. Just because, well, the ones that I would want to help would just take too much money and I'm still in debt. So I don't really feel like doing that. So fighting child labor by another 2 stars has given us young people, family, social boosts. I guess that's better than nothing for 2.4%. Small amount. This is a long, tedious fight, isn't it? The goddamn animal lovers are having a little demonstration, which is undoing the popularity that I'm trying to get because they think that I don't like the animals, despite the fact that I'm spending almost as much as I can into protection of the fauna. You piss me off. I guess I'll just max this out. I haven't spent anything into environment yet. I'm sure the hunters won't like that, but the hunters don't give me as much of an issue, as much problems. And as another way to try to garner some quick support, I'm also going to max out access for the handicapped in transportation because it doesn't cost a lot and I imagine it would give us a nice little boost. Oh boys, I can actually see fighting happening over here in China. There's a fuck ton of Afghani troops trying to get into China and they're garbage, and they're fighting the Chinese troops and actually putting up a real good fight. Over here we saw a fight between some tanks, and then the Chinese troops disappeared. The Afghani troops died. So it's like China attacked Afghanistan, but Afghanistan is trying to fight back. Man, all right, what did we just get? A 2.4% bonus. A happiness from hunting restriction? That's so fucking weird. All right, well, wow, you could tell this game was made by a left-winger. Why would hunting restrictions make people happy? Hunting restrictions are what keeps local animal populations in check. Like, in some states in America, they actually increase the quotas for, like, coyotes and stuff like that because coyotes will breed too much. Then they'll start attacking house pets. And so they have to increase the quotas to allow hunters to hunt more and even incentivize them. Otherwise, people start getting hurt. Their pets start getting hurt. I've gone back into sports since it's been long enough since we've spent money there, and I'm going to max out help for underprivileged sectors because, again, it's not crazy expensive in the grand scheme of things, and it could give us a nice little boost. And unfortunately, someone has cyber attacked us. So far, the estimated damage is in 30 million. Well, that's a goddamn shame. I guess that's my wake-up call to go into police, find cybersecurity task force, and pump these numbers up, at least by 2 stars. I don't want to spend too much at once. At least by 2 stars, pump this up because we don't want that to happen again. As for cyber analysts here, let's see, we'll bump up. God, this is awful. So we're taking some negative hits because of cyber attack on the infrastructure and the economy. Yeah, it hurts the economy. Let's increase our cryptography cybersecurity here by 1 star and increase our cyber analysts to 200. That should help protect us from this kind of thing in the future. Oh boy, what's happening? So there's another riot. Cyber attack on our country. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's get our meeting with Poland and see what they want. I'm sure it'll be at least somewhat positive. They want to sell me maize. They sell it for better than I purchased it. That's kind of interesting, actually. I need plenty of maize, and they're offering me quite a bit. All right, sure. Let's see what you're willing to do for me. I'll start out at 108. Let's send that over. Down to 145. Let's do 118. Negotiate. 138. All right. 128. Negotiate. And they've accepted it. We got a better price on a whole bunch of maize. I'm sure that will help.
Sure.
Our economy. We've already got a maxed out alliance and everything. I wonder if we can get permission to get a base. We can now have a base in Poland. Can we get 2 bases in Poland? No, only 1. Well, if I ever want a base in Poland, I can now get it. Speaking of really cheap things we can do to maybe help our popularity, I'm going to boost up classes for the exceptionally gifted to max because it's super fucking cheap. Like, holy crap. This is also super cheap. I'm just going to start with this. We're still taking sad faces, terrorism. I guess that does count as terrorism. So, oh man.
Everything
What?
Stopped.
Was there an actual... Did someone just do a military cyber attack on us? I think someone just did a military cyber attack on us just now, as well as this not military cyber attack. That's interesting. The damage is still mounting up. In terms of millions, it's only at 60 million. This is to our economy, I believe, our GDP, not actually to my... treasury. And Egyptian forces are financing Colombian communist territory. Oh, okay, so that has to do with Colombia. What has popped up that I missed? Happiness decline. Alright, so nothing important. Let's just take a quick look at Afghanistan and China, and we will see, wow, these are some pretty big losses. Oh man, Afghanistan has lost over 40,000 men already. That's awful. And China's at about 13,000 men. What's Afghanistan doing against the Mujahideen? I'm sure it's terrible. Wow, the fight with China is already so much more deadly to the Afghanis than fighting the Mujahideen. That's crazy. Well, I'm interested to see how this is going to go, but we have a full episode here. Hopefully, hope to God, we can get our popularity back up without someone trying to cause us issues like what always happens when you play a democracy in this game. Cross my fingers. I hope you guys are enjoying this hell that this playthrough is turning into, and hopefully we will get past it. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.